Hi everyone, and welcome to this tutorial. Today I want to talk about two different cable stitches, a 1x1 RPC and a 1x1 LPC. Now these are right purl cables and left purl cables, and they appear in the Ziggy Hat, so I want to show you how I work them. I'm going to show you how to work them with a cable needle and without. And let's start with the RPC, 1x1 RPC. So 1x1 means that we're going to be working 1 by 1. So 2 stitches are involved in that cable. And a right purl cross means that the direction is going to be to the right. So the slant is going to be to the right. And the purl portion means that we are going to knit one of the stitches and purl one of the other stitches. This is often how cables will change directions if there's textured stitches underneath. So with a cable needle, when you come to your 2 stitches that you're going to want to work the cable on, with a right cross, we're going to take our first stitch and slip it as if to purl onto that cable needle and hold it in the back. And then we're going to knit the next stitch, right, just a regular knit. And then this purl stitch in the back, we can either put it back onto our left-hand needle or just work with it directly off our cable needle. So you're going to move your yarn to the front so you can purl. And you're just going to purl right into that stitch and take it off the cable needle. So you'll see here we have a right leaning cable that we've just created. I'll do it one more time with the cable needle. Get to the another 2 stitches here. So again, cable needle as if to purl through that first stitch, hold it in the back, then knit the second stitch because that's the one that we're bringing across the front of the work, and then we'll purl that stitch that's on the cable needle. All right. And you can see here that what we've done is, you can even see it more clearly now in the first one that we worked. You've got a right slanted cable, and then next to it you have the purl bump from that purl that we created. So let's talk about how to do this without a cable needle. There are a bunch of different methods. My favorite way is to actually just rearrange the stitches, because if I'm just working a 1x1 cross, that's often the easiest way and the least fiddly. So here's what I do. I take my right hand needle and I go through the 2 stitches that are going to be my cable cross, and I put them on the right hand needle. The idea is that you want to get this second stitch to the front, right? So I'm going to go through the back of my work here. I'm turning my work. I'm going to stick my left hand needle through that first stitch. See that over there? That stitch over there. And then I'm going to pull them both off like that. See, that one is just hanging there, no problem. I'm going to take my right hand needle and just put it right through that stitch and pull it up onto my needle, right? And then I can just execute the stitches that I need to do. So I need to do a knit first and then bring my yarn to the front to work a purl stitch. Okay, so all I did there was reverse the order of my stitches first before working either of those stitches. I'll show it to you one more time. So here are my 2 stitches that I want to cross. I'm going to take my right hand needle and slip them both onto the right hand needle purlwise. I'm going to look at the back of my work and take my left hand needle and go through the back of that stitch, and I'm going to pull them both off my right hand needle. Don't be afraid, that stitch is just hanging there. This works especially well with woolly yarns rather than, say, superwash yarns or silks or anything that's too slippery. So it's just hanging there, and I'm going to grab it with my right hand needle, put it on the left, and then execute the cross. So knit one and purl the second stitch. All right, you can see that one looks just like the others that we created. It's just a different method. So now let me show you the LPC, or the left purl cross. It's very similar to the RPC in that it uses 2 stitches. The difference is that we are going to take this first stitch and we want it to sit across the front of the work so that it leans to the left. So to do that with a cable needle, we want to keep that stitch in the front because we're going to use it, we're going to pull it over to the left, right? And in this case, we're going to purl the stitch behind it, and we're going to then knit the stitch that's on the cable needle. Okay. And what that did is we pulled that stitch across the front of the work, so it's going to lean to the left. Let me show you one more time with the cable needle. Take our cable needle, slip as if to purl through that first stitch, hold it in the front, and then because this is a purl cross, we're going to purl that second stitch, bring our yarn to the back, and we're going to knit the stitch that's on our cable needle. So if we look back at that first one we did here, you can see that it is indeed leaning to the left, and the purl bump this time, unlike if the RPC, the purl bump was on this side, with the LPC, you're going to see your purl bump sitting on the right-hand side, right? It's kind of the opposite. All right, let's talk about how to work this stitch without a cable needle. I find that most 1x1 crosses are pretty easy to work without a cable needle. There are a bunch of different methods. I'm just going to show you mine. Again, I would slip 2 stitches with my right hand needle, and this time we want to make sure that this stitch comes to the front, right? This stitch right here that is now our second stitch. It was our first stitch. So I'm going to slip my needle through it just to hold on to it. My left hand needle slips through it, and I'm going to slip them both off my needle. All right, they're both just hanging out. This one's being held by my finger, and I'm just going to slip my right hand needle. Do you see that? I'm just going to slip my right hand needle right through that loop that's sitting there on my finger and pull it onto my needle. Now what I've done is reverse the order of my stitches before ever doing any stitching, and in this case I'm going to, just like we did with the cable needle, purl the first stitch, yarn to the back, knit the second stitch. And again, we've created a left leaning cable, but we've done it without a cable needle. All right, let's just look at that one more time. Right hand needle through both of those stitches, slip them to the right. This time we want to capture this stitch and bring it across the front of the work, so I'm going to stick my left hand needle through it as if to purl. Let them both fall off my needle, and you can see I just have that little stitch sitting back there. No problem, it's just hanging out. I'm just going to grab it, I'm not going to twist it or anything, and I'm going to just bring it right up to the needle and bring my yarn to the front so that I can purl it, and my yarn to the back so that I can knit the next stitch. All right, so that is the LPC, or left purl cable, or left purl cross. And you can see the RPCs and LPCs are used in the Ziggy Hat. They're basically used to help change the texture of the fabric as the cables change in turn from right to left, right? So you're changing the number of purls right over here, or you're changing the number of purls right over here using those cable crosses.